Hello racing fans and welcome to my NASCAR race review right here on Tim Reynolds Show as I'm reviewing the NASCAR Cup Series race from Bristol Motor Speedway on Saturday night inside the Stadium of Racing, and this would be the last race in the round of 16 for the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. And we would see this race dominated by one racing team and one driver as the number 5 Chevy driven by Kyle Larson for Hendrick Motorsports would dominate this race and get the victory here after leading all laps but 38 of them as he led 462 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway, not only a record for Hendrick Motorsports driver ever in their racing history, but also the most laps led at a Bristol race in NASCAR Cup Series since the 1970s. What an amazing feat by Kyle Larson, who dominates this race and gets the victory to move on to the round of 12 in the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Now we get on to some other drivers who didn't really have much luck in this particular race as we go to find out which drivers made the round of 12 and advanced through the round of 16 after this last race here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And getting on to some of the drivers who were unlucky, we get to two former Cup Series champions. The number 6 Ford driven by Brad Keselowski for RFK Racing was not able to advance in this one after having some tough breaks throughout this Bristol night race here, as they really didn't have the luck on their side to be able to advance in the round of 12 after this round of 16 blunder for the number 6 team. And we also see the number 19 Toyota driven by Martin Truex Jr. in his last year of full-time Cup racing was not able to advance after early on it looked like him and his Toyota team were going to be able to be strong and really contend for the lead at the end of this Bristol race. But unfortunately, Martin Truex Jr. and his number 19 Toyota racing team for Joe Gibbs Racing actually had a speeding penalty in pit road, which means that Martin Truex Jr. had to go to the back of the race due to the speeding on pit road, and now unfortunately he couldn't crawl his way back into this race after that mistake, as he's now been eliminated from the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. And then two more drivers, some young guns in the NASCAR Cup Series, as we see also for Joe Gibbs Racing, the number 54 Toyota driven by Ty Gibbs, who was not able to advance into the round of 12 after a tough break here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And speaking of tough breaks, the number 21 Ford driven for the Wood Brothers and driven by Harrison Burton, the young gun there, who was able to get the win at Daytona just a couple weeks ago to get into the playoffs, was not able to do much in these last 3 races, including this Saturday race at Bristol Motor Speedway, as he had some tough luck near the end that forced his car out of this particular race and had to go get some repairs. And by the time he came back into the race, he was already down too many laps to be able to get any road ahead and be able to advance into the next round. So he has now been eliminated, and those are your 4 drivers eliminated from the round of 16 as we move on to the round of 12, and we'll get you guys to those particular drivers here. As a matter of fact, we're going to get you guys the top 5 finish though for this Bristol race, as we see Kyle Larson obviously finished in first place, dominating the race. We also seen the number 9 Chevy driven by Chase Elliott finish in second, and also the number 23 Toyota driven by Bubba Wallace gets third. We also see Denny Hamlin, the number 11 Toyota driven for Joe Gibbs Racing. He advances there into the round of 12 after a really good finish here, finishing 4th at Bristol Motor Speedway. And then Christopher Bell, also racing for Joe Gibbs Racing, he gets the good finish here, top 5, as he also advances into the round of 12 into the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs round of 12. And let's get to the rest of the guys who were able to advance. We've seen Tyler Reddick, number 45 Toyota, was able to advance into the round of 12. Alex Bowman, the number 48 Chevy for Hendrick Motorsports, is able to advance. We already know about Joey Logano, even though he had some bad luck in this particular Bristol race after he was brought up a caution after getting 2 flat tires and was really finishing at the end of the back of this row, the back of the pack, I should say, in this race. So tough luck there, but lucky for Joey Logano, he's already won a race, so he already advanced into the round of 12. Obviously, Kyle Larson advances after his big win. Chase Elliott with a great finish in this race for second. He advances into the round of 12. That number 9 Chevy there for Hendrick Motorsports. And we also see the last Hendrick Motorsports driver, the number 24 William Byron, will advance also into the round of 12. And then we also see the number 14 Ford driven by Chase Briscoe was able to race very, very well in this Bristol race, I should say, after racing pretty dang good in the first 2 races of this first round, the round of 16 here for the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. So a really, really good battle and past couple of races for Chase Briscoe as he advances as well. We also see see the reigning defending Cup Series champion Ryan Blaney in the number 12 Ford will advance also into the round of 12, and also his teammate, the number 2 Ford driven by Austin Cindric for Penske Racing, as those Penske Racing teammates will both advance into the round of 12, as all three of Penske's cars, the number 22 Ford, the number 12 Ford, and the number 2 Ford, will all advance into the round of 12 of the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. That means we will see Penske Racing and Hendrick Motorsports with 3 or more cars into the round of 12 for the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Wow, what a really, really good performance here, and what a good stack of drivers that we have heading into the next round. Now, as far as some other guys here, like we mentioned before, as far as like finishing luck, we mentioned too the 462 laps led by Kyle Larson is the most laps led since 1977, when Cale Yarborough led 495 laps at that Bristol race. And this is also the most laps led by any Hendrick driver at any NASCAR Cup Series race in Hendrick's Motorsports history. Also, Daniel Suarez, the driver for the number 99 Chevy for Trackhouse Racing, did a very, very good job in this one. Even though he finished 4 laps down in 31st place, he was able to do just enough to get the final spot and be able to advance into the second round in the playoffs. 11 points over Ty Gibbs. A really, really close race, but lucky for him, he just kept pushing and was able to advance into the round of 12. And then, guys, we had a couple other bad guys that had some really tough luck here on this particular racetrack. Corey LaJoie in the number 7 Chevy was one of them. Also, Justin Haley, who we found out is actually going to be taking over for the number 7 Chevy starting next week, as there will be a swap between drivers of the number 51, as Corey LaJoie will going to be racing for them, and Justin Haley will be going to race for the number 7 car going forward. And those are just a couple little notes there at the end of this NASCAR race review from Tim Reynolds Show, as we reviewed the NASCAR Cup Series race from Bristol Motor Speedway, the last race in the round of 16 in the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, as next week we begin the first race in the round of 12 to see who is going to get the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series trophy at the end of these playoffs. Thank you guys for checking out NASCAR Race Review right here on Tim Reynolds Show. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Please hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who your favorite driver is, what you thought of the Bristol Motor Speedway race, especially after not seeing the tire fall off that we thought we'd see there at the NASCAR Cup Series race at Bristol. Thank you guys so much. Peace out, everybody. Have a great day.